Steve, big win in Orchard Park for the Buffalo Bills. And these Bills take down the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs.
Whew, that was a great game.
Josh Allen kind of put this team on his shoulders and just run the football at will when he wanted to, do a variety of different things. And this game changes the AFC landscape real quick. I believe there was a 90% chance of the Kansas City Chiefs getting the number 1 seed if they won this game. It now, losing this game, drops the Kansas City Chiefs' chances to 50% of getting the number 1 seed. We know how important that top spot is. Only one team now gets a bye in each conference, extremely important. Now Buffalo owns the head-to-head over Kansas City, which is a big part of it. They both have 9 wins, which now they're tied in that sense. So Kansas City would have held the head-to-head, would have had 10 wins to 8 wins. It would have just skewed the top of this AFC a lot differently. And now you look at the parity with, Kansas City's 9-1, Buffalo's 9-2, Pittsburgh's 8-2, and then you go down to, Houston 7-4, 7-3, 7-4. Yeah. So it just created a little bit more parity at the top of the AFC. That's a huge deal for Buffalo. There's now opportunities, is my point, for somebody else to slide in. So your take on what we're seeing out of Buffalo, are they the biggest threat in the AFC to the Chiefs? What are you seeing from this offense? Because I know there's specifically something that stands out.
One, Shakir, wow. The impact that he has on this offense. Got to shout him out from the Smurf turf, Boise State. First of all, I don't know if he pigeon-toed, bow-legged, or all above. That boy, he walking, that's how he walks. But when he gets on the football field and he plays, and I'm going to tell you, I've talked to some of his coaches, don't watch him practice because he'll fool you. He will fool you. The boy can play. His stats in regarding of where he lines up. 381 times he's lined up. He's only week 11. He only lined up out wide 10 times. Where does he do his work? 40 times he's been in the slot, 2 times in the backfield. But what he really does that I believe separates him, when I look at my player evaluation terms with a receiver in the corner, I'm looking up these terms because I want to make sure, like, these are the things that they're saying. These are the physical attributes, and these are the position must. Like, he must do this, not M-U-S-S like in Utah at the student section where it's a cute little adjective. Yay. No, I'm talking about how are you a first-round draft pick, but if you don't do these things, you drop down to the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. And what he does the best, must have ability to create yardage after the catch.
Bingo.
Must be intelligent and mature to handle the playbook and the NFL environment. Those are some of the things that they evaluate. Must possess the toughness and desire to contribute in the run game as a blocker and the best. Must have good instincts, awareness, feel, and quickness for exploring zone and man coverage.
Okay.
He does a really good job of just getting in and out. He has a really good feel of how to do things. Catching the ball, he catches the ball with his body. He catches the ball with his hands. He dives. He short arms it. Whatever the defense or whatever the situation presents itself, he is capable of catching that football exactly the way you should as a top-tier wide receiver. He's their wide receiver 1, and a wide receiver 1 doesn't necessarily always have the yards. The wide receiver 1 has to do with clutch and positioning and at the right moment at the right time. Now, the wide receiver that we know is the dominant is Coop. He's dominant. He's also not 100%. But when they need that go-to play in between the hashes, who you think they're going to?
Oh, they're going Shakir. I was talking to a couple of people around the league. Obviously, we know what we're going to be talking about. The things that were given to me, Steven, I want you to react off of these are he's got great contact balance. He gets vertical quick, like really quick.
Oh, yes.
And that's why he's 3rd in the NFL in yak. Like, he gets downfield immediately. What I'm curious about is, do these traits stand out to you when you watch them? And 2, when you mention Coop and the addition, oftentimes we don't see a move at the deadline put a team just, like, we go back and go, this is why they won the Super Bowl. You could say that was the Rams when they acquired Von Miller, and he was the closer they needed, and what he did after that trade, and in the postseason, he was outstanding for the Rams. I look at Amari Cooper, and they desperately needed somebody outside the numbers. They were getting predictable as an offense and how you could guard them. How does Amari's presence now help Shakir now? Does that make life easier on him, you think? Now that there has to be some respect outside the numbers from defenses, which wasn't the case before they made that trade.
It does make things easier for Shakir to have Amari Cooper. What it also does, it makes the Buffalo Bills more dangerous, because if you have a Dalton Kincaid when he gets back, when you have a contested catch, jump ball, young guy who's still developing and learning how to play the game in which the Buffalo Bills need him. Keon Coleman. With him, that allows him to really go against the third and fourth corner, because Cooper's getting a 1 or the 2. Shakir's getting a 1 or the 2 in nickel, depending on how they feel or what the situation is and what that defense believes. You have Knox, then you have Cook, and then you have Curtis Samuel. He's been doing a good job as well. So all of a sudden now you have a vertical threat, horizontal threat. Then you have your tight end, Dalton Kincaid, horizontal and vertical. And then you have checking into the flat.
You got the check
and
down.
You got the check down. With when Cook gets the ball, bro, he's making everyone miss.
Yeah.
And then you have Samuels, who is a running back who played in Carolina under Brady, so he knows exactly what type of routes that he needs. And then you got Coleman, who's learning how to play the football game in the NFL. It's cool. He was really good in college. This ain't college. He's lacked some separation, but he's going to learn now because he has Coop to show him. He has some other guys, and he's going to be going against, don't take this the wrong way, a lesser defender. So that gives him an opportunity to ball. That's just my analysis as watching the game. I believe he could play football, but I'm not going to sit here and say I'll take Coleman over Amari Cooper, not because I don't think that he can't play. I just got to look at Coop's file cabinet. His file is deeper in the NFL.
Big time.
Against quality DBs.
Steve, I love the way you said that, because the reason that you mentioned all of these names, I was talking to a DC on Monday, and he was essentially like, I love the way Joe Brady is running this offense. It's on schedule.
Simple.
It's balanced. It has the ability to click because of those first two, he told me. And he said the biggest part about this is they're running the football, and Joe is making sure Josh Allen doesn't need to play hero ball. And this was a really interesting take. He was like, a lot of times when offensive coordinators have quarterbacks that are this talented, that are this physically gifted, it's hard to play simple. But it's benefiting the Bills right now by taking stuff off of Josh's plate. You're running the football much more. You're running it more effectively. You have all these different weapons you're describing. And then when push comes to shove, Steve, he can play hero ball.
You actually look like a better football team.
100%. Here's the deal, people. All season long, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash. Only on Underdog. Pick higher or lower on your favorite player, and you can join the millions of fans winning millions this season. Sign up today using promo code UD89, and you'll get a free pick as part of your first cash entry, plus $1,000 in bonus cash. Again, promo code UD89 to cash in on every touchdown this season, only on Underdog.
What did I learn watching the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills play in the regular season, that they have to play in the regular season because they're in the AFC, so you don't have to wait every 4 years. You don't have to wait till they're going to make sure this is a big game. It's like watching Tom Brady and Peyton Manning go at it, meaning you don't know who the wide receivers are every year with that team, but you know someone's going to show up because you know who's at the quarterback position.
Yep.
Right? You remember, he was a senator at some point. Remember, I think it was Aaron Gonzalez? He played, remember him?
No, Anthony Gonzalez.
Yeah, Anthony Gonzalez. He was playing.
He didn't get into politics.
Unfortunately, he got put to sleep several times when he was with the Colts. But he went from catching footballs to doing that. And my point is.
How about Austin Collie? Remember?
Bro. Like, it was just so many players in those errors that you would go, I don't know where he came from, but I know when Peyton Manning's throwing him the football, he has an opportunity to make the play. And when I was watching the Kansas City going against the Buffalo Bills, the biggest thing I walked away with, it was not who is going to play better. I just said, this game means everything to both teams, because if the game is in Kansas City, I think it's different. If the game is in Buffalo, I think it's different.
If the game's in the postseason, it's different, because that's where the Chiefs win all of them.
Right.
And the Bills don't.
It's just so different, man. And I was just watching the game. I was like, wow. We're watching these young stars go at it. We're watching these players. You're watching the elevation of their game. It's a Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night, whatever night it is, these two players need to be playing at night. Don't put them during the day with the regular folk and the common folk. Right. Put them boys with the VIP. Get them where people are trying to panhandle and over there selling fake sideline passes, because you want to be part of the action. You want to see, is Patrick Mahomes really that tall? Does he really wear his Adidas this way? Is Josh Allen really wearing his sleeve like that? Is his hair long? Like, what is it? Do I get to get body slammed on top of a table in Rochester? It's just so exciting. It makes you, like, right, I can go backwards where you go Joe Montana, Boomer Esiason, Dan Marino. Like, these are the quarterbacks. This is why the quarterback club was invented back in the day, because if you don't have these guys, you don't have a team.
Exactly. And I've been lucky enough to be at almost every single one of these matchups, Steve, standing on the sideline, and it is a different feel than almost any other game. I was at that game where Mahomes comes back with 13 seconds left. I'm waiting to see who I'm going to interview post-game. I'm running from sideline to sideline with a camera crew. We're going to be talking to Josh Allen. We're going to be talking to Patrick Mahomes. We're going to be talking to Josh Allen. Remember the end of that playoff game? It's incredible. Yeah. There's a different feel, because there's a very good chance you are going to see something you've never seen on a football field before, and it's most likely going to involve one of those two guys. It's been outstanding, and I think what we also saw from the Bills, and we're going to see if this carries in the postseason, what do the Chiefs usually do? In the end of games, they know they're going to win. They don't hurt themselves. The Bills did both of those things. They didn't hurt themselves. They knew they were going to win at the end of the game. Their mentality seems to be calmer, different at the closing minutes. We'll see if that happens in the postseason.